Evet. Yine başladık mı? Evet, başladık. Evet, yayındayız. Şimdi bugün sizlerle Google'ın inceleyeceğiz. Şimdi başladı. Ben size detayları sonra aktarırım.
And we know that this is the wave of the future. As the platform grows, the variety of queries will grow too. And that's where our ecosystem truly shines. People don't just want a more natural way to get what they need. They want to get more of what they need in that natural way. It's natural in that users can just say what they want. Natural because it's not tied to a single device or service. Natural because with deep understanding of context, we and you can be smart about how we step in and help users before they even ask for the help. Today, I'm going to share the changes and enhancements we have coming for every place that Google Assistant appears, from app actions for Android developers to conversational action tools. Let's start with app actions. Our solution for Android developers to easily enable their apps to fulfill queries from Google Assistant users. App Actions is the easiest way to integrate your Android app with Google Assistant, letting your app join in fulfilling millions of Assistant user queries, from booking a ride to posting a message on social media. It lets your users jump right to the most interesting and useful points in your app with simple voice commands. You can enable App Actions today in Android Studio by mapping user intents to specific features or steps within your apps. Last year, we made App Actions available to all Android apps by introducing over 60 built-in intents. We introduced common intents like opening your app or searching within your app. Here's an example on Discord that lets the user see their mentions. We also introduced vertical specific intents, covering common use cases for communication, transportation, health, and many more. Intents like send money or start an exercise. I can even tweet. Hey Google, tweet virtual I/O is exciting. And there you go.
Çok güzel.
But if your app does something unusual, something not covered by our built-in intents, we've got you covered. We also introduced support for custom intents, so you can build app actions that maps your app's unique functionality. Let's look at an example from Walmart, where the user is booking a time at Walmart to pick up their order.
Çok iyi olmuş. Yani
with both built-in and custom intents, you can easily integrate Google Assistant to your mobile apps with your favorite Android development tools. This lets you reach your users using a simple set of Android APIs, which can surface your app's actions and content across Google services. And now we're surfacing your app's functionality in more places, from voice queries on mobile to Android Launcher and search suggestions. Let's take a closer look at how this works. I'm excited to introduce Capabilities, a new framework API that lets you declare support for your common and vertical intents. You can describe parameterized Android intents, which you then map to user query semantics via the Assistant built-in intent catalog. Whew, that's a mouthful. Honestly, it's much easier to do than to say. Capabilities API provides an Android-friendly way of declaring the built-in intents your app supports. It's available in beta starting today. Here's a demo from Snap showing one of Under Armour's AR shopping lenses. Isn't that cool? And while we're making things easier for you, let's also make it easier for your users to discover that Google Assistant queries are supported. With Android 12, we're doing exactly that. And the best part is, it's all a part of the APIs already in Android. Shortcuts and widgets. Let's start with shortcuts. Android shortcuts are already used by app developers to provide a quick entry point to users via the Android launcher. Last year, we introduced the ability for users to create personal voice shortcuts into apps with Google Assistant. Now, you can join the voice shortcuts party. If you build Android shortcuts, they'll automatically be suggested to users in our voice shortcuts gallery, so users can set up a personal voice command that takes advantage of the Android shortcut in your app. To make this possible, you can use our new Shortcuts Jetpack module to push shortcuts whenever users take the corresponding action in your app. Make sure to also connect your shortcuts to the right app capabilities in shortcuts.xml. When you follow these best practices, Google Assistant can suggest relevant shortcuts to users in all sorts of ways and help drive traffic to your app. So just to recap, you can describe the set of deep links supported by your app directly in the Shortcuts XML via the new Capabilities API. You can use our Jetpack module to push unlimited shortcuts to the Android system and to Assistant. Next, let's talk widgets.
Widgetler
have
hakkında
been a great
konuşacaklar
way for
şimdi.
users to access glanceable, evergreen content. They're a great way for users to quickly monitor information, complete tasks,
hızlı
or
yap,
just get
hızlı.
inspired directly from their home screen. But a great thing can get even better. Let's talk about how. First, with Android 12, widgets are transforming into an interactive, customizable view into your app with a consistent design and look and feel, so users can get more done within the flow of their day. Here's Strava implementing a widget to track how many miles a user ran in a week. Next, we're making it easier for users to use widgets across all sorts of
Kullanıcı için
news
çok
services.
hızlı, çok
Widgets will be
kolay ve
accessible via voice with Google Assistant on mobile, lock screen, and Android Auto.
Android Auto
Once built on mobile,
Türkiye'de bu yüzden bu
widgets will
özelliği
be available on
deneyemeyeceğiz.
other surfaces automatically and accessible to users while driving in a safe and optimized way. The integration with Assistant enables multi-step interactions across all these surfaces with the same widget. So it's not only one-shot answers and quick updates that you can enable.
Yani ben
Users can
sen
have a full
bazı
conversation
nedenin
with the
dükkanı
widget
satın alacaksın.
with help from Google.
Dükkanlardan
This integration lets you
böyle
build
bazı
single
satın
widgets
alacaksınız
with
yani
multi-step
Google'dan
flows,
da.
like selecting
güzel.
and ordering a drink. Check out this example from Dunkin'.
Dunkin'deki şey
Now I want a donut and some coffee. Developers can map specific built-in intents to widgets using the Capabilities API, which lets users invoke widgets from Assistant and optimize for voice. Ooh, that's a lot. We've introduced all of these capabilities with the goal of making it easier than ever to integrate your Android app with Google Assistant.
Google Assistant'e Android, saf Android'le birleşecekler. Esasında
With just
saf
a
Android.
few days' work of enabling deep links and enabling
Birkaç gün
the
sürecekmiş
Capabilities
bunların
API,
işlemleri falan.
developers can take advantage of everything that App Actions has to offer. And since discoverability is baked into the product, we look forward to developers seeing real value from these integrations. We want to thank some of our early developers
Bunların hepsi
who helped us
sayılıyor.
test and refine these features.
Colonos,
so
eBay,
excited
Fantastic,
about the
Kroger,
world journey
Spotify.
towards
Bunların
making
hepsi artabilir
Assistant on
bence.
mobile
YouTube'da
more
falan
useful
koyarlar.
with every
Buradan
task
koymuşlar
we do.
sanırım, bilmiyorum.
Now,
Yani
I
hiçbir şey
love
değil
all
yani.
of the ways that Google Assistant
Ama
helps me
şey
on my phone. But when my hands are full at home, I turn to my smart display, like so many other people. And we're
Smart
making it
display
easier for
bayağı
all of you
şey,
to build for the
iyi
ever-increasing
bir
number of
özellik.
people using their smart displays every
Çok
day.
kullanmıyorum çünkü
Last year, we
iPhone'dayım.
introduced all
iPhone
sorts of
kullanıyorum
improvements to
ve
the
bu yüzden.
Assistant platform for smart displays. We introduced the Actions Builder, a web-based IDE that lets you build, debug, test, and release
Debug
your
testi
actions
yapabiliyorsun.
all in
Bug
one
testi.
place. I used it to build my first action when I joined the team, and I went from
Takıma
clueless to
katıldığımdaki
finish in
ilk
less than
aksiyonum.
2 days. We also released enhancements to the Actions SDK, a new Actions API, client libraries, and a new testing API. And finally, we worked with partners like Jovo and VoiceFlow, so you can use your favorite dev tools to build your
DevTools, Developer Tools.
We also made improvements on the user
Kullanmak
experience
istemem.
side to help users easily discover what developers have built.
Bayağı
We
şey,
introduced the
ağır
updated UI for our smart
kaydırıyorlar ha.
display to help users discover
Güzeldi.
games experiences more easily.
Allah
And we
Allah.
opened 2 new built-in intents for public registration in the education and storytelling verticals, in addition to games, which expanded the reach of easy discoverability still further. But wait, there's more. Today, I want to share further efforts towards improving both the developer experience and the user experience on the smart
Dur
display.
ben şöyle kameramı açayım.
First, let's start with the improvements on the developer side, beginning with interactive canvas. As you know,
Canvas.
interactive canvas helps you build touch and
Mesela ben
voice-controlled
yaptım.
experiences for the assistant, using web technologies like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We've had some early developers use Canvas to build rich visual games.
Bu oyunları ben
experiences for smart display.
biliyorum.
Cool Games, Zynga, and GC Turbo are just a few. But Canvas isn't just for games. Last year, we expanded interactive Canvas to actions in education and storytelling, which let many of our partners in those verticals build incredibly engaging new experiences for Google Assistant. The day that the Wonder Woman story experience by Capstone launched was the day that magic lassos became common in our house. And the ABC Mouse education experience by Age of Learning is responsible for my 4-year-old doubling the number of letters he knows. Speaking of the alphabet, we have some great enhancements to manage our own collection of letters, TTS and NLU. Text-to-speech and natural language understanding, as well as storage, have historically been managed through webhook calls. But this approach can make coordination between the webhook and the client pretty complex, and it also slows down the user experience. We're fixing that. The Canvas API will now allow for client-side TTS, NLU, and storage. This API will be optional for developers to use, and will be available soon in the developer preview. Once you build amazing new actions, we're also giving you a wider set of options around how to release. Coming soon, developers will be able to manage their releases in the console by launching in stages, starting with just one country or launching only to a percentage of users, for example. On the user experience side, we're announcing more improvements to help your users have full immersive experiences on the Smart Display. First, we've removed the interruption to TTS when users tap on the Smart Display. Next, we've launched full screen canvas capabilities, so your users can get the most out of your immersive
Smart
experiences.
Display'de böyle bir şey yapacak mısınız?
And
Yani
we've
oyun
made
oynayabileceksiniz,
improvements
YouTube
to the API to
izleyebilirsiniz
help
falan
support
filan işte.
long-form media
De,
sessions.
de,
Now, you can
de
start
bunları
playback
yapacak
from a specific
tabletler,
moment,
telefonlar ne
resume where
olacak?
user dropped out of their previous session,
Yani
and adapt
herkes
conversation
sevinmeyecek.
responses
Android 12
based on the
alanlar,
media
alanlar
playback.
sevinecek.
Actions can
Yani.
also leverage the new playlist media response to present users batches of related content at the same time, with the assistant automatically handling the UI and the voice controls that users need to skip entries or go back. And finally, we know that another big area that developers have been asking for improvements in is around monetization.
Sadece
In October of
developers
last
var.
year, we made a commitment to make it easier for users to transact with your connected home
Bunlar
experiences.
böyle.
We're happy to announce upcoming availability of on-device CVC entry on your smart displays, and we'll have on-device credit card entry available soon. Both of these features make on-device transactions much easier and reduce the chance that users will have to be redirected to their mobile devices. It's been great fun working with the team to put together all of these new features, both on the developer side and on the user experience side. I'm so much looking forward to seeing how all of you use them to create amazing experiences. And soon, I look forward to hearing about all of them in person. Donuts and coffee will be on me. Thank you.
Donatla ve kahveler benim olacak. Dur ben şöyle bir programa bakayım. Tamam. Şimdi saat sanırım Google Assistant şeyi bitti bu yüzden. Şimdi sırada makine öğrenmesi replay'i varmış. Tamam. Şöyle bir şurada canlı yayınımız var. Canlı yayınımız şurada. Biz devam edelim. Yayınımız size geç gelebiliyordur. Üzgünüm. Bana biraz geç geldi. Durun şöyle bir. Hemencik. Evet, burada.
It's important to have consistent and cross-channel strategy. Look to wherever
Burada bayağı var ya. Biz 37 kullanıcılara verelim.
Bonds. Saying Black Lives Matter doesn't mean all lives don't. It means Black lives are at risk in ways that other.
Ben size katılacağımı bilmiyorum yani. Durun şöyle bir Google aratalım da hemencik. Hayır ben biliyorum da bakalım değiştirmişler mi? Şöyle bir kanallardan gidelim. Şöyle bir Google açalım da. Şuraya da durun. Evet, Google Developers. Nerede bu? Bu arada ay üzgünüm. Cidden çok üzgünüm. İlk yayınım, o yüzden pek bilmiyorum. Çok üzgünüm. Çok üzgünüm. Tamam neyse biz şuradan devam edelim. Sanırım yine Google'ın şeyinden devam edeceğiz. Şöyle kanallara geçelim. Google'ın kendi Google nerede? Google Developers'tan devam edeceğiz. Sanırım. O zaman biz de şeye gidelim. Buna gidelim.
positioned. If you're landing something that is in a new category, like a completely new game, this is a great opportunity to create a campaign that focuses on exactly that, your new offering. If you're releasing new features to an existing product or updating an existing experience, It may be beneficial to market your release hand
Bugün
in
sanırım
hand
şey
with a
günü,
larger
developer
event or
günü.
planned marketing moment. If you have existing
Sen yanlış güne canlı yayın
tools
yaptım.
like newsletters, email, blog posts, then by all means use your pre-existing channels to launch and learn before investing further in new means of outreach. If you have customer events or trade shows planned, think about how to tie in your action or other assistant integration into on-site experience. Finally, is your release tied to a specific holiday, season, or cultural event? If you know that your action tends to be most impactful during a specific time period, heighten your promotion efforts during this time. For example, if you have an outdoor fitness action, increase promotion during the summertime when people will be using it. Marketing and action can be complex as it is still a very new discipline. As a result, the marketing process will take more time and need a thoughtful approach, flexibly designed to react how your users
Yani
respond.
yeni dizayn falan. Yeni dizayndan bahsediyoruz.
Use a combination of always on and peak promotional efforts, which will consist of 3 areas: in-product promotion, existing marketing channels, and paid promotions. Google provides tools to help you get the word out. While your owned channels can be the most effective way to tell your users about your action, Google offers several tools that enable action discovery. The Assistant Directory, where users can quickly learn about your action assistant links, so users can immediately engage with the action, and tools to make it easier for users to rediscover your action via the assistant. Name it. Make sure your action's name is as short as possible, since users will always have to say it in every query. Ensure your brand is used as the publisher name and not the name of the agency who may have built your action. Devices. Ensure only the devices where users have the best experiences are listed. For example, it probably doesn't make sense to make a canvas-based game available on smart speakers, since users won't have a screen to look at. Linking. Be sure to link any other properties like websites or apps to your directory page. This helps Google verify your brand and enable cross-platform functionality.
Google'un şeyleriyle ilgili başka
images will only appear
tüm satın
on
alma
mobile
gibi
if
şeylerle
your
ilgili bu.
images
Evet,
represent
o.
your action's ability versus your branding exclusively. Ask your assistant query examples. Make sure every query highlights a different functionality and not just different invocations. Use the most contextually relevant trigger verb for the functionality that you're displaying. For example, sometimes talk to makes more sense than ask. Assistant links let users immediately jump into your action experience as though they invoked it with their voice just by clicking the link. Assistant links can be particularly useful on social channels to drive immediate engagement, including newsletters and email promotions. Use assistant links liberally throughout your website and promotions. For example, a recipe
Promosyonlar gibi
website that
şeyler.
has all its recipes assistant enabled should include an assistant link on each recipe so the user
Asistan
can easily
linkleri.
click into the assistant experience. Make sure the assistant links you use are contextually relevant to the specific functionality you're promoting. Create assistant links that deep link into specific
Bu arada bir
areas of
dakika
your
kaldı.
action, including context-based parameters, which will be fed into your action. Do not drive users to the top of the experience every time, which requires them to go through the intro flow again. Your action can push notifications to users whenever relevant, such as
Şundan
sending
çıkalım. Bu arada saat 8.30'u gören varsa yok. Yok, bunlar varmış. Tamam.
engages with your action, offer a
Bu
routine
bitsin.
suggestion that lets
Öbürüne
users
geçeceğiz.
add
Öbürünü bir geri
direction
sarıp
to their
izleriz.
routines. For example, you might use a routine for a daily trivia question game, giving users the opportunity to hear a trivia question in the morning right when they wake up. For best results, only offer routine suggestions once a user has demonstrated proof of high intent. For example, when they've linked an account or engaged multiple times in a week with your action. All right, now time for a quick recap of what we covered. Building a marketing plan for actions on Google is critical to establishing and growing an audience of people to engage with the action your team has worked so hard to make. Remember that it's important to plan ahead by putting together a cross-functional team who understands your audience and how you're going to measure the success of your marketing campaigns. Your marketing plan should be a result of a thorough, thoughtful, and nimble understanding of how you communicate with your audience, where you can find them, and what's the best way to craft a message that will resonate with them. Have a plan for initial launch, and be aware of how your messaging will change as you continue to ship updates. Be aware of any events or times of year which may be relevant to your app, and be ready with a boosted campaign when the time comes. Finally, take advantage of the tools provided by Google to help users find your conversational action. Provide useful, helpful information and metadata about your apps so that users understand what they're seeing. Add assistant links to your web pages where appropriate so that users on assistant-enabled devices can launch your apps straight from the web. Finally, enable re-engagement with push notifications and routine suggestions. At that point, you might not be ready to say your work is finished, but you'll have done some great work to help your target audience discover, learn about, and hopefully use your app.
Hadi izlemeye devam.
And that's that. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I really can't wait to see what you launch. There's plenty more to learn about building with actions on Google and marketing your actions. If you enjoyed this talk, check out some of our other I/O technical sessions about Assistant, and make sure to subscribe to our newsletter.
Şuraya geldim.
Thanks so much for watching.
İzlediğiniz için çok teşekkürler diyor. Tamam. Bir de öbürüne geçelim. Şimdi
birth of Family Bell. I personally use this feature every day to get my kids out the door on time in the mornings.
Yeah, I have to say I totally agree with you with Family Bell. I feel like it's an assistant that's genuinely caring about making sure that my day kind of tracks the way that I want it to. So props to Yash and the other women for initiating the...
Yani bu arada önemli bir şey anlatmazken açıklama yapayım. Neden bunu izliyoruz? Çünkü kanalıma yeni tane daha içerik eklemek istiyorum. Teknoloji. Bunu çok istiyordum. Ve ilk önce LDX Boom geldi. Zaten video izlediniz. Şimdi ise ben düşünüyorum ki ben teknoloji çeksem. Tabii ki de ben oyuna çıkacağım yani full teknoloji değil. O yüzden teknoloji videolarımda izlenmesini çok istiyorum. İzlenmesini istiyorum. Bu yüzden lütfen takipte kalın. Hadi devam edelim yayına.
But the unfortunate truth is that just 22% of people in AI are women. If we know that diverse teams build...
Ya, bu haklarla ilgili bir şey. Şimdi biz sonraki saat 22'de kaç dakikadır yayın yapıyoruz? Yoksa ben buna devam edeceğim. Dur. Burada join us c.co. Dur, yayını durdurayım. Üzgünüm. Yayını bir durdurayım. Yayını bir durduralım. Durun bekleyin, üzgünüm. Çok üzgünüm.